Welcome to The Awareness Angle, the podcast that brings you the latest security awareness news and gives you the security awareness angle on it. You can catch us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And alongside the podcast, if you aren't aware, we have the newsletter. This comes out every Monday and gives you an overview of what is discussed in each episode. You can subscribe today at riskycreative.com, or you can find us on LinkedIn. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm Anthony Davis, and as always, I'm joined by Luke Pettigrew. Hello, Luke.
Hey, Anthony.
How you good? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Good. Jam-packed show tonight. Let's just, we've got the news. As always, we'll whiz through the news and give you the latest stories. We have the comments section, and then I've got a couple of topics, and Luke, you got a couple of topics you brought to the party as well?
A couple for this one.
Excellent. Okay. Well, let's get cracking. And in the news this week, I've got a couple of stories to start with. Apple AI, with the latest version of iOS, Apple launched their AI tool, and the BBC and other news agencies have had a real problem with this. Apple AI, for anyone that doesn't know, the notifications that come through on an iPhone or iPad, it creates summaries of these. So if you get multiple notifications from a news site, it will summarize them into one short one. So you can, rather than scrolling through all of your notifications, you can see it. And it does it for chats, and it does it for all of your apps. But the BBC News, it has problems collating the data. So it incorrectly said that darts sensation Luke Littler had won the World Championships. He actually did win the World Championships, but before he won it, it sent a message out saying, Luke Littler won PDC World Championship, and he hadn't. And they've been in trouble for this before. Oh, it also said the Brazilian tennis player Rafael Nadal comes out as gay, which he hasn't. So it was bringing together different news stories and summarising it.
Power of AI.
Yeah. We spoke last week about Encanto 2 and Google's AI. Like,
very similar, isn't it?
You kind of... It doesn't take rocket science to work out that maybe these aren't quite there yet and probably shouldn't be for public consumption, but who holds Apple accountable? Who holds Google accountable? That is the the problem.
Hope they'd have done some testing, but obviously there's something a bit wrong with it.
Yes, you would hope. Well, I've heard now that Apple is rolling out a fix. That was something that came. Apple were addressing this in the new software update, which I've actually received today. So we're recording this Thursday. I got a notification when I woke up this morning that there's a software update for my iPhone. So time will tell if this has been fixed. We'll see. Tell your people, don't believe everything they see. As always, just go somewhere and verify your facts. If you were worried, if you've got posters of Rafael Nadal up on your wall and you were concerned that about his sexuality, then don't be. Check your facts. The next news story I had was one I spotted on Reddit, and Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company. It isn't about fact checkers, that's something else, but their AI generated profiles are starting to show up on Instagram. And if you're watching this on the video, we'll chuck an image of this up here. There's a couple of profiles that have been identified. Liv. Hi Mama Liv. That's it. Sorry. Awful username. Hi Mama Liv. So that's one of them. And then the other one is Hello Grandpa Brian. And the idea is that you can have a conversation with these people and you can talk to these people, and they're an AI friend. Message me to talk about anything. These are available only in the US. So
that's very Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah. It's yes. So some of the comments on Reddit are quite interesting. Like, but why? What's the use for this? And then another comment is, this is what I don't understand. What is this for? And a reply by Suck on My Knuckles says, entire departments at Meta are just trying to justify their overly paid existence. Eventually, these bots will be anonymous and will be able to convincingly push whatever agendas people with money or power want to push. It's very, very Black Mirror. Yeah, terrifying. So maybe keep your friends group small and be careful who you're influenced by on the social medias. The next one I had this week is fake edit this cookie Chrome extension steals user data. Now, only last week we spoke about Chrome extensions, and this has been something that in the real world we've had conversations about this week in the 9 to 5 job about the Cyberhaven Chrome extensions last week, where the developers of Chrome extensions were phished, and as a result of the phish, their own extensions were compromised. Well, Edit This Cookie, a browser extension with over 3 million downloads, primarily used for editing local cookie files, so fairly tech-savvy audience, but it's just been removed from the Chrome Web Store due to its reliance on Manifest 2 framework. In its place, a new extension named Edit This Cookie has emerged, which allows it to remain on the store. However, this replacement not only mimics the original name and design, but also contains some malicious code designed to steal user cookies. So what you have here is you have a Chrome extension that's been retired because Manifest 2 is no longer supported. Again, we spoke about that a few weeks ago regarding uBlock Origin and the ad blockers. Someone's gone, oh, that's gone. I'm going to put a replacement up in its place. Verify, if you're downloading Chrome extensions, verify where they're from, verify the developer. It's really hard, right? One thing, the conversations we've had this week about Chrome extensions, one thing I've noticed is how many people actually have got Chrome extensions that they don't need or use. And I'm guilty of this. Yeah. Chrome extension audit. That's something everyone should be doing. Like I look now, uBlock, Grammarly, then I've got full screen. I've got view image. I've got go full page. I've got video pop out. And these are just the ones I've got pinned, right?
Yeah.
I've got 2 color pickers. Link to text fragment. Yeah, there's stuff there that I probably don't need. So
sounds like you need to clear up.
I think I need an audit, and I think this is what everyone should be telling their staff, their employees, their colleagues. It's the new year, time for a spring clean of your browser. Check your extensions.
I guess it somewhat applies to other browsers as well. Some of them are probably just as vulnerable, maybe not as targeted, but Chrome's probably one of the biggest.
I work with a large developer community, and whenever we talk about Chrome, someone always comes along with a Firefox emoji. Like, oh, Firefox. Everyone should be using Firefox. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize Firefox only had like a 3% market share. It's tiny. Like you've got Chrome and then you've got Edge, which is now built on Chromium. And then you've got Safari and then you've got Firefox. It's like, wow. Okay.
I think I saw someone mentioned with Safari, their extensions are on the App Store, so they're a bit more, I guess, reviewed in a way.
Yep. But, you'd hope anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is always, there's a reason. It's always the same, isn't it? Like Chrome has the biggest attack plane. So if I'm going to create malicious extensions, I'm going to use Chrome. And it was the same years ago. I remember people like Windows got all the viruses. And it's like, you don't, I remember being told you don't need antivirus on a Mac because you don't get viruses on Macs. And back then, you go back 10, 15 years, it was really unusual. You didn't hear of viruses and infections on Macs because their market share was so tiny. Whereas now their market share is substantial. And I think last year I saw a stat that last year saw a massive rise in malware for Macs. So,
all right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's tell your people to do a Chrome extension audit. And if you're downloading new Chrome extensions, verify where they came from. Right. Next news story is yours, Luke.
Yes. So this one is from Malwarebytes, and it's about Discord users being targeted with fake game testing, like beta testing invites through like DMs. So basically, criminals are targeting Discord users with fake campaign, like phishing campaigns, essentially, and they've basically given them malware instead of a beta test for a game. So yeah, it's quite a straightforward one, I guess. It's obviously, if you get a random DM, you probably don't really want to interact too much with it, especially downloading something from it. But I guess some people are keen to try these games. I don't know if it may be targeted in terms of like a popular game. It may not be. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But
it's an interesting one, isn't it? You always want to be the first to, like, if we're developing this brand new game, we'd like especially you to test an early version of it.
Something popular, please. Like something that's hyped up. So basically, they're just spreading malware. I think as well, there's session cookie stealing as well through these things. So obviously, we've seen what that can do with people's YouTube channel, like Linus Tech Tips a little while ago and stuff. So
obviously that's before this podcast existed. If you aren't aware of that, Linus Tech Tips is one of the biggest tech YouTubers, and his channel was compromised, and fake like Elon Musk Bitcoin videos. Was it?
Yeah, I think they got like a sponsor email saying like, "Oh, we'll sponsor you" and stuff, and someone clicked on it. But yeah, it basically took their session cookies, and the hackers changed their channels to fake Tesla, Elon Musk live streams and Bitcoin.
And if you aren't aware, a session cookie basically gives someone access to an active logged in session. So it bypasses passwords and authentication if you've got the session cookie. So someone basically just opened up their active session in their browser using the session cookie. So it's kind of like a backdoor in. They got it all back. There's a whole video on Linus Tech Tips that maybe we'll put that in the newsletter as well. Don't forget you can subscribe to that at riskycreative.com. But we'll put a link to that video so you can find out more about session cookies and that there as well.
So yeah, this news story is just good to share. A lot of people play video games, I guess, that are techie perhaps. So some people that aren't, but yeah, just want to look out for with that. I think as well, there's other Discord scams where people DM you to say that your Discord or your Steam account has been banned, and then they trick you to speak to an admin, but it's not actually an admin, and then they steal your account. So there's lots of attacks through these like unsolicited DMs, but I guess the other thing you can do is lock your account down potentially to only receive DMs from friends and stuff. So there's some things to look out for.
I think I saw another one just today about I'm sure it was Discord again, but it was voice phishing, and it was a massive uptick in voice phishing via Discord. I'll see.
I'll look for next time if you can't find it.
Next time. Yeah, I'll have a look for next time. It's you mentioned Discord. It made me think of that. It would have been kind of relevant.
Sorry, I was just saying, I can continue with the next story if you want. It's game related as well. So.
Your next one's kind of related. Yeah. You might as well go on with that.
Yeah. So this one is another interesting one. Basically, there was a fake leak of the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas source code, which was being spread around. Basically, it was ransomware in disguise. It was the Resida ransomware as a service group.
Right.
I think they've been an active group since 2023. And they basically ransomware machines, systems, or whatever, and demand Bitcoin payments with the threat of publicizing your data, as most groups do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was pretending to be Grand Theft Auto source code. And this news story on Games Radar was basically telling people to please don't download it. It's not real.
Yeah.
And obviously one of the telltale signs was, I think it was a very small file, which obviously probably wouldn't make sense for that, but
No.
yeah.
I think the whole game of San Andreas, like for PS5, for example, I think that's around 25 gigabytes because GTA 5 is about, I think, 80, 90 gigabytes. I know this because I was clearing some space for the kids on the PS5.
Yeah.
So yeah, San Andreas is like 25 gig. GTA 5 is like 100 gig. So it's not a small game. Even compressed, it's not a small game.
Yeah, so just looking at these images, there were some larger files, like 4 and 5 gig, but there was an executable, which was 17 meg, which was, I guess, the ransomware. Well, yeah.
It's funny. I only saw a thing this week, and it was GTA 3. It wasn't GTA San Andreas, but Grand Theft Auto 3. Some developers, some clever people have basically ported that back to work on a Sega Dreamcast, and they fitted the whole game on a disc, and they've got it fully playable on a Dreamcast. Why they've done that, I don't know. Someone's obviously got way more free time than me.
Yeah, because they can. Bit of a challenge.
Yeah, the Dreamcast had like 16 meg of RAM or something. Like, it's such a low-powered machine. It was one of the first internet-connected consoles, but that's why people want not only to find out how stuff works and get the secrets and, mod the game, but for stuff like that, perfectly innocent projects for fun, and they could have lost loads, by getting popped. It's not very nice.
I did have another story, actually, which might as well get out of the way now. It's ransomware related as well. So this one was the BrainCipher ransomware group, which was the Deloitte incident that was early December of last year.
Deloitte one, yeah.
And strangely enough, Deloitte declined that there was a breach. They declined the claims of the BrainCipher group, who said they had breached them, but they denied that. But apparently, one of their systems, which is the RI Bridges Rhode Island healthcare and benefits platform, was breached, and the BrainCipher ransomware group provided evidence of that data, which includes 650,000 individuals, names, addresses, social security numbers, date of birth, banking details. 10 gigabytes of data apparently is now available on the dark web. And so there's a news story here, and it says that the governor confirmed the leak and has urged residents to take precautions by using a free credit monitoring service. Freeze and monitor your credit to prevent fraud, and stay vigilant of further phishing targeted phishing from the result of that. So yeah,
we see that all the time. I remember in the UK years ago, it's got to be 11 years ago now. TalkTalk got compromised. TalkTalk, they had I think it was SQL injection. They got popped. I remember because their CISO, Dido Harding, who went on to run stuff for the government during the pandemic, she was on the news and she called it a sequential injection hack or something. It was a bit clumsy, but I remember that was the first case I remember where we're offering all of our customers 6 months of Credit Expert or Experian or someone like that. And now that's it's the standard playbook thing, isn't it? Yes, we've had an incident. We're offering all of our customers I mean, credit expert and Experian must love it, because it's like, oh, hi, I'm calling from company A. How much for 600,000? How much for 6,000? You know, it's like, what's the bulk discount here? Yeah. Mad.
It'd be interesting to see what more comes of that.
Yeah, definitely. I found the article I was talking about, and it wasn't a news article. It was Brian Krebs on his blog, Krebs on Security. He posted something 2 days ago on the 7th, and the article was called "A Day in the Life of a Prolific Voice Phishing Crew."
Right.
And it's about besieged by scammers seeking to phish user accounts. Apple and Google frequently caution they will never reach out to unbidden to users this way. However, new details about the internal operations of a prolific voice phishing gang show the group routinely abuses legitimate services at Apple and Google to force a variety of outbound communications to their users, including emails, automated phone calls, and system-level messages. And this is where you'll get, like on Apple, you get saying, oh, please enter the 6-digit code, or you'll get the 6 digits pop up to like authenticate. But there's a cryptocurrency in the article. It says cryptocurrency investor named Tony, who was robbed of more than 4.7 million in an elaborate voice phishing attack. They initially contacted him via a Google Assistant, an AI-based service that can engage in two-way conversations. The phishers also abused legitimate Google services to send Tony an email from google.com and send a Google account recovery prompt to all of his signed-in devices. What can you do? Like,
it's very sophisticated.
At that point, you're like, okay, I'm done, because that's like the most trusted. It's from Google. It's from google.com. Google will tell you that only we will ever send you emails from google.com. We'll put a link to that in the newsletter and the show notes as well. That's an interesting one.
Cool.
The next one I've got is US government have launched a cybersecurity safety label for smart devices. So a couple of days ago, the White House announced the launch of the US Cyber Trust Mark, a new cybersecurity safety label for internet-connected consumer devices. So it's going to appear on smart products sold in the US later this year, and it will help American consumers determine whether the devices they want to buy are safe to install in their homes. And this will appear on home security cameras, TVs, fitness trackers, climate control systems. And it signals that the internet-connected devices come with a set of security features approved by NIST. So this has got some backing. Vendors will label their products with the Cyber Trust Mark if they meet NIST's cybersecurity criteria. These include using unique and strong default passwords, software updates, data protection, and incident detection capabilities. So consumers can scan the QR code next to the trust mark for additional information, such as how to change the password, steps for security, configuring the device, details on automatic updates, and details of the minimum support period. This is amazing. And it'll also tell you if the manufacturer does not offer updates for the device.
And they could have made it look a bit nicer there, to be honest.
It's quite... It's not the prettiest. But yeah, if you're wondering what it looks like, we'll get that in the newsletter as well.
But no, some really good steps. Especially for people that, they don't change the default password or something. Or
Amazon, Google, Best Buy, LG Electronics, Logitech, and Samsung have announced their participation, which is good, and it's all been authorized. So yeah, that's coming out later in 2025. So if you are based in the US and you're listening and you have employees out there, it's really good. Tell them to look for the Cyber Trust Mark when buying anything connected. This will probably, because it's a US thing, you're not going to get like Huawei or TP-Link now getting a Cyber Trust Mark, I wouldn't have thought. So it's, the US have been gunning for them for some time. The last news item I had this week was about phishing click rates. Phishing click rates. This is from Info Security magazine, and phishing click rates tripled in 2024. More than 8 out of 1,000 users clicked on phishing links each month, up by 190% compared to 2023. The top target for phishing campaigns by number of user clicks last year were cloud applications. Microsoft was the most targeted cloud app brand, making up for 42% of phishing link clicks in that category. And then the next highest targets for phishing campaigns were banking and telco. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Another
thing in that.
Spotting them.
Yeah. Another thing on that, the report found that 94% of companies use Gen AI apps in the workplace in 2024. 94% of companies. Organizations now use an average of 9.6 generative AI apps. ChatGPT was the most popular at 84%. So, we'll put a link to that little article in the newsletter as well. That's it for the news this week.
Oh, yeah. On to the comments.
Yes. Did you want to do this one?
It's yours, I think.
Okay.
So your profile.
Sharon. So Sharon D, who is based in New South Wales in Australia. She posted a comment on one of our short videos we put on LinkedIn around the death virtually of uBlock Origin, the ad blocker.
Right, yeah.
She says uBlock is her favourite ad blocker, and indeed it was ours. We used to recommend it. It was such a great tool for multiple reasons. She says the big tech companies seem to be getting away with having very little responsibility regarding malicious ads. Before Christmas, in time for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, she ran an awareness campaign for staff and students regarding fake online stores and offers. As an experiment, she went on Facebook to see how many of the ads on her newsfeed led to scam sites. 8 out of 10. Wow. Big tech companies need to do better, but I can't see them voluntarily making changes, as currently there seem to be no consequences for them. Are we surprised? Like,
it's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
No. I mean, it's a scary place, right? And it's...
I think, Facebook is terrible for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Facebook and therefore probably Instagram, because the two are very well connected. The quality of it, you can kind of, for me, the quality of an advert, you can tell a mile off if it's a decent product or not. But not everyone can tell. And it's really, really difficult out there. I've nearly bought stuff through Instagram, and I've ended up going to the browser and Googling the company name and going direct to their website that way. And or have checked reviews from review sites on how good the store is.
Trustpilot and Google reviews and stuff. It's always good to... But yeah, you see a lot of, I guess, what looks to be AI-generated ads, like AI-generated images of a product or something, and you can always tell by the text it's always emoji-heavy or something you've never really heard of, and it's probably got fake bot reviews in the comments as well. So it's all definitely some research.
I saw another one this week. There's a service called Avatar that have just launched. I think you upload a photo of your product and they'll create you an AI generated video, 360 video or product video for it. So you can literally upload a still image and they'll give a nice video moving it around and stuff like that. And it's designed for like product shots for online sales. And it's like, oh God. So AI makes everything difficult. It's going to change the game somewhat.
Yeah.
But I think what Sharon's discovered there is really, really important. It's, you know, make sure you don't just buy at will. You know, they'll use all the tricks, all the psychological tricks, you know, only if you ever go on Temu, last few, discount expires in 5 minutes. This, you know, they'll give you all the tricks in the book, and it's walk away and search elsewhere and check the reviews, because it's there's a lot of dodginess out there. Thanks for the comment, Sharon.
Yeah, that's really good.
If you want us to talk about something, or you've got any comments, we'll bring them up on the show. We'll talk about them. We'll cover them. Do get in touch. Comment on the video on the podcast platform, or drop us a line, hello@riskycreative.com, or fill in the contact form on the website. We do have a couple of questions from Hayden that we received yesterday, but we'll get to those next week. So really, really good ones, but we'll cover those off in next week's episode. So you're just going to have to listen next week to find out what we think of those, Hayden. Right. I had a couple of topics, and it's kind of related.
Right.
So this one was a post, and I don't know if I've shown you these, so you might be seeing these for the first time, which would be interesting. This was a post I saw on LinkedIn, and these photos. So basically, this girl does not exist. These photos are 100% AI generated. So, you know, when you used to see AI photos and it was like, look at the fingers, look at the, you know, because like they'd have 6 fingers on one hand and 6 spoons on the other hand or something like that. These photos of this girl are really, really convincing. The light, I should have asked you if these are real or AI and seen if you could guess.
Well,
because you're normally quite good at spotting these.
I'm looking at the comment there, but I don't know if that's, I haven't seen the full. No, yeah.
Well, there you go. Verify. I don't know. That's really interesting. Yeah. So I've read another article where she recognized herself on a photo and already made accusations. Even that's not true. I made it up, but you believed me for a while, didn't you? Oh my God. Who do we believe? It's
yeah.
But I'm impressed because the likeness is really good in all of them. Like it could easily, there's no variation on going back to that Simpsons. If we go back to that Simpsons movie trailer we looked a few episodes ago, and there was like Steve Buscemi as Mr. Burns. I couldn't remember the name. Thank you, Hayden, for reminding me of that. Mr. Burns, like Steve Buscemi, it was young Steve Buscemi and old, where it had 2 shots. It wasn't the same face. The Bart Simpson character had a different face. The John C. Reilly character had 2 different aged versions of John C. Reilly. These literally look like the same girl, woman on like, this was my holiday to Spain or Italy. Like it's...
Yeah.
And how do you tell? Like if I uploaded these, like it says, this is why media platforms need a verification stamp showing whether it's AI generated. How would they know? How would they know?
Yeah. I know there is an Adobe thing. I can't remember what they call it now. But about verifying.
Yes.
Have a quick look for it.
Is that something it inserts into the metadata of the photo?
Yeah, it's Adobe Content Credentials.
Right.
Which I think it's mainly for creators in a way of basically showing that they own something.
Right.
It shows you if it's been edited or generated with an AI tool and stuff. But I guess something like that is something that at some point maybe become a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary world out there. I'm currently watching as well. There's a program on Netflix called Missing You, and it's based on a Harlan Coben novel. It's like a thriller type thing, and it's 5 episodes. I've got the last episode to watch I've seen the first 4, and it's not the best TV. There's a couple of, there's one scene where he walks up to a car of this guy that's gone missing, and he's got some amazing gadget that can unlock a 10-year-old Volkswagen Golf in like 10 seconds. And then he's like plugged in and he's like opened the boot that was locked and getting all kinds of metadata on it. And then there's another one where it's like, oh yeah, I hacked the dating app. And it's like, how did you hack someone's so casually talked about, like it's just, oh yeah, I can do that because I'm a genius. Anyway, that's got the storyline. I won't spoil it too much for anyone that hasn't seen it, but there's storyline about pig butchering in there, and the whole kind of romance scandal, people seducing people on romance apps and stuff like that. So it's this whole AI likeness thing. Like we've used fake faces in the past for stuff, you know, when we need to do training and we want to put a profile of a Facebook or something. You go to this person does not exist, and you create a fake likeness, but it didn't actually dawn on me that this person may exist. That's, you know, maybe it isn't an algorithm. It's scary.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to talk about was something that I also saw on LinkedIn, and this was from Simeon Quarry. Simeon is at Vivida. They're a security training company. I'm saying security training. They're from a security education company. And I reached out to Simeon. We might have a conversation with him in the next few weeks, but he posted a really interesting video. I'm just gonna play it to you now, actually, and just see. I want to get your opinion on this because I thought it was quite interesting.
Okay, that doesn't look good.
Here we go.
There was a Netflix producer and an editor. They were having a conversation, and I heard a phrase that I hadn't really heard and thought much about before. Essentially, the producer said, the content here in the edit is not second screen enough. And I asked, what does that mean? Well, essentially, when people are watching TV, they are also viewing another screen, right? They are looking at the mobile phone. We've all been there. My household, I get frustrated with it, honestly. Everyone's watching the TV, even as a family, and then everyone's also on their devices at the same time. Now, what's this got to do with learning? Well, we've noticed that not only do we have a culture where people click next through content, and we're trying to do what we can to work against that for those of us that are involved in creating awareness, training and education. But also what we need to be aware of is that people are distracted because, you know, they don't want to do the training. So at the same time, they numb the pain by going to their other screen, to their second screen. So we're working to compete against this by essentially delivering the content in that style that people are naturally drawn to when they are bored and when they are distracted. So we're going to turn the modality into a tool. And that's really what we're focusing on with the creation of Vivida Reels.
So I thought that was really interesting. I've not looked at their product before.
I've not heard of it.
The whole concept I thought was really quite unique. The whole kind of real second screen. Like, how many people do their security training, like, will click, like especially if you've got a video based or an audio based, or you've got, if it's not,
it would be
page,
the primary
page,
focus, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It'd be
If it's, I'll
tab,
press play, leave that in another tab, and then carry on with my work. You know, it's the second screen thing, and it's funny. I watched that, and I've heard it before, but I hadn't really kind of put the relevance to us. But then tonight I'll be sitting out there watching telly, and my wife and my daughter, and probably me, will be there on their phones whilst we're watching telly.
Yeah.
So he has a really good point.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'll be keen to see what that looks like in practice.
Yeah. Yes, I will investigate, and I will we'll cover that some more in the future. But yeah, second screen, think about that. You know, if it's not the primary focus, maybe having big visuals isn't the way forward, and audio is that. Like, how many people listen to podcasts when they're driving? Video. We do this on video and we do this on audio. We release it on YouTube and we release it on podcast platforms. But I think they're probably two very different audiences. Some people will press play on YouTube and some people might watch it. Some people might have it on in the background. Other people, like I listen to podcasts and audiobooks while I'm driving, so I can't watch because I'm listening. I've got no idea what some of the podcasters I listen to look like. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Second screen. That's my two topics for this week. What have you got?
Cool. Yeah, I got two. Well, one of them is relatively short, but it's in relation to stuff we mentioned in this episode and previous ones. So yeah, sponsored Google Ads. It was literally yesterday or the day before I was searching for Google Ads, like the Google Ads website, and obviously first thing that comes up is a sponsored ad for Google Ads. The URL that appears there looks legit.
It does.
Clicked on it and then went on the website and clicked on start and then got taken to a Cloudflare website. Doesn't exist or something like that. And then I looked at the URL and it's a Google site. Not the official Google website. Someone's made a Google site that.
Oh my God.
So if you, we'll put the image on the podcast and in the newsletter perhaps, but yeah, so it was a sites.google.com destination, but it was from that sponsored ad, which looked like the real website.
So you clicked on so the URL that's displayed on that Google ad is https://ads.google.com.
Yeah.
So you clicked on that and that took you to sites.google.com.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like there's some thing where they can, like, the domain doesn't actually go there.
Like it's a vanity domain almost. Like it's just there that you can customize or something.
Yeah. Because even the little icon, favicon icon wasn't obviously, as you can see in the screenshot, but we'll put that as well. But it's just a broken website, or there's no favicon for it. But
it's funny, isn't it? It's almost like the person so it's a really good looking site. But you can have a favicon on Google sites. Like looking at it now, that stands out. But it wouldn't have been a lot of work for them to have put a custom favicon on it, which they haven't done because it's got the standard Google sites favicon. But the audacity as well to have it, to build this fish on a Google site. Maybe there's some reason why they did that.
We're making the Google Ads on a sponsor Google Ads, a bit of an own goal for Google there. Even their own platforms I feel like that's a simple thing, right? Like, someone's trying to put a sponsored ad for a Google product. Why is that allowed? It seems a bit backwards to me.
You would have assumed that there would be, you cannot promote Google products, like only Google can promote Google products, or even that a vanity URL shouldn't be allowed. I haven't done AdSense or Google paid advertising for 10 or 15 years, so I can't remember the process with it. But geez, that's
obviously it's the first result on Google, and they even think I just clicked on sponsored ad, ads.google.com, landed on the Google site, which looked pretty convincing. I didn't even look at the URL, clicked on the button, and that button went to accounts.googles with 2 G's and 2 E's, which obviously would have taken me to a login screen of some kind, but obviously, luckily, Cloudflare had taken it down.
So if anyone is listening, please don't try and look for this, because as of now, this is still live.
Oh, okay.
This is still active. I've just done it.
That URL.
If I've Googled Google Ads, this is mad. I've Googled Google Ads, and the top result. Let's show everyone. If you're watching the video, if you're listening to this, then come back and watch it, because you can see exactly what we're talking about. So I'm in my browser here. and I've just done a search for Google ad, so probably should have put Google ads. The top result here is sponsored, ads.google.com, ads.google.com. So like the URLs look exactly the same, right? Let's just make that a bit bigger for the purposes of ads.google. That's a genuine, natural, organic search result. This is a paid premium.
You can see the fav icon is missing, but
you can see the fav icon.
At a quick glance, the URL's there and you click on it.
Yeah. So let me just take that back to normal. If I click on this, you can see it's gone to sites.google. It's gone to this page. The URL is sites.google.com. View Dior-ads. Oh, the old engineer in me now is coming out to like do a deep dive to find out what's going on. It's. But then if you hover over this sign in, it's taking me out to cacaobliss.pt.
Right. Yeah.
It's taking me out to a domain, which is a fake Google page. Yeah. That's a cacaobliss.pt is the URL on that. So these go nowhere. These just go to hashes. Let's type. If that's your real email address, I do apologise. Let's just bash some keys on that. So I'm just typing in a fake username and fake password on this, what looks like a right Google sign-in, but it isn't. Now it's thinking about it, and my guess is that's probably just going to hang. It's got my username and it's got my email address and my password.
I think that's affecting your whole network.
Into your incorrect password. Please try again or click forgot password. Yeah, so now, I wonder if that's taken that and checked its authenticity somewhere.
Either that or stored it somewhere for later use.
Yeah. Don't try that at home. I did use a fake username and password on that.
I've just seen as well, you can report the if you click on the three dots, it also says that its advertiser is Sydney Zoo, which is maybe that's a data business compromise.
Maybe
their account's been compromised or whatever.
Maybe they've had their AdSense. They've had their AdSense account compromised or something. If we click, so there's a thing there where you can click. That's interesting. So you can click there to see other ads that they're currently running.
Okay. Yeah.
And all of the ads, which is quite nice. I quite like that. But looking at it, all the other ads are appear to be Sydney Zoo. That's something's wrong at Google. It's how can that be allowed? I don't get it.
I'm surprised it's still alive.
Yes.
Yeah. Although the domain's different, so maybe when I went to it, obviously I didn't get out to that login screen, but they must have just put it back up again on a different domain.
Yeah.
And amazing.
Yeah. Maybe we should reach out to Sydney Zoo and let them know that their AdSense account may be compromised.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anyone at Sydney Zoo, reach out to them. But there's a message as well, right? A lot of companies do Google advertising, and this is where, you make sure. I remember I had this issue years ago with a company, and they managed the Facebook account. To manage the corporate Facebook account, individuals in the social media team were given access to the Facebook account via their personal Facebook accounts.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but what if that person's in the pub on Friday night and their phone gets taken by their mates who think it's hilarious to post something about a competitor on the corporate Facebook, like it's the possibilities for corruption were really high.
Not the way to do it.
Yeah. Because it's just a laugh. It's just a game. It's just a bit of fun. No, it's really not. It could be really harmful. Lock that. That kind of account management on all those different platforms and services is really important. 2FA obviously should be should be a given.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's a great catch, Luke. Well done on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have one more story.
Yeah, go on then.
You can screen share this one as well. It's a TikTok about the Google Gemini 2.0
Okay.
AI. I think this is it's probably a month old now, but I didn't see it till recently. But basically, it was their new Gemini 2.0 AI model, which has Google's DeepMind designed for the agentic era of AI. We can share the videos. If you skip to about 23 seconds, it sort of shows it in action. It's quite impressive.
Hang on. Let me just using TikTok in a web browser is really challenging.
It's not, definitely not designed.
No.
for that.
It like keeps auto playing and stuff, which is it kept shouting at me. Might be quite loud, so we might need to sort that out.
Text open.
Yep.
And you want to make the hello text wiggle.
Correct.
To do that, you would apply the wiggle expression to the text position property.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me how to do that.
Okay, no problem. The first step is to select the text layer.
I'm sorry. What? Who's he talking to? The AI.
So that is the Google AI. You basically can screen share. It can like see your screen and stuff and tell you what it's seeing and how to do things. It's quite incredible.
With the word hello in the layers panel. It's the layer labeled hello in the composition.
Okay, got it.
Okay, step 2 is to expand the properties of the selected layer by clicking the small arrow next to the layer name, then expand the transform properties.
Got it.
Now in step 3,
That's mad.
Yeah. So that's
I mean, like IT support, desktop support. Yeah,
YouTube-
it's time to start
YouTubers that make
upskilling.
tutorials and
Wow.
you never need another tutorial again. It can
No.
do it all for you.
Like I mean, they're going to be taking traffic away from YouTube. So, yeah. But then they won't need to pay YouTubers because they've got AI to do it. I wonder. Oh, wow.
So that was Gemini 2.0, which has image and audio output, which I guess it's in this demonstration he's conversing with it, but you can obviously share your screen, so it can read and understand your screen.
It's that amazes me as well. I mean, there's a massive data privacy issue around that. Like everyone had a problem with Microsoft and Windows with was it the replay feature or whatever it was called, where it like stores 30 minutes of like screen history. But this, Google will be, like if you have other windows open.
I've not tried it yet. I think it's available to try, but there's a few other things as well. So that's Gemini 2.0. But I think it's called Project Marino.
Yeah.
And then they've got Project Astra, which is an AI for their apps like Google Maps and their Google Home, I guess, and probably YouTube as well. But I guess that will help enhance the app. And
do you know what? I can see uses. So that use there, like today I was driving and the route I take, there's about three different ways you can go.
Yeah.
And then once you get along the road, once you commit to one of those, there's 2 ways you can go. But Google Maps and Waze, which is owned by Google, are really rubbish at giving you all the options and telling you, it'd be quicker if you go that way. It has a preference. It would be really nice if I could go, Google Maps, is it going to be quicker if I turn left? And then it like works out.
Yeah.
If I take the next left, is it going to be quicker? If it works it out like that, seeing that, the use cases are awesome for stuff like that, because that also means that I haven't got to touch my phone, even though it's, it's in a dock, it's all legal, but it means I haven't got to touch my mapping app when I'm sat in traffic or anything. I can just talk to it more effectively.
As well, like, accessibility for people that
Absolutely.
have very good vision or stuff like that. Yeah, being able to have a AI that you can properly talk with and tells you what it sees, and I think that's already sort of a slightly different with the Meta glasses. Like, I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah.
Meta glasses with the cameras in, and then you can, for someone that's got poor vision or blind, they can ask Meta what it sees, and it can tell them. So that's
it's like
quite
it's
cool.
like an in-spectacle audio description.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's genius.
And yeah, there was another thing with this Google thing. It's called Jules, AI-powered coding assistant for GitHub for supporting developers. So I guess a similar thing to that demonstration, but for coding and GitHub. But yeah, lots of advancements in AI, and that's obviously just what Google's doing. And there's probably tons of stuff out there.
Yeah. I really hate that we end up talking about AI so much, but
It's the future, unfortunately.
I mean, it is.
It's got some good use cases, a lot of good use cases.
Yes.
But it won't be going away.
I think it's interesting though, like we're not talking about like AI, the threats are still, from a security perspective, AI does change the playing field somewhat, but the lures are still the same. They're still using old techniques to try and con people and try and talk to people. It's not new techniques. Like AI's just change the way they're delivered or change the way they're built. But a lot of the scams are still the same. Like they make you feel dirty or icky or like you're missing out or panicked, or there's lots of fear, uncertainty and doubt around these things. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my stories.
Excellent. So I think we're done for this week then.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Well, thank you very much for another episode.
Yeah, thank you.
If you have been listening, this is the Awareness Angle. You can listen to us on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube. It's lots of pretty colours, very kind of browny and orange today. We should have talked about what we were wearing before we came on air. But yes, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. Comes out. These episodes come out every Monday morning, and along with that is a newsletter that covers each of the stories we talk, each of the big stories we talk about, gives you the awareness angle on each of those, and then also gives you some news items. Get that in your inbox by subscribing at riskycreative.com, or you can search for Risky Creative on LinkedIn and you can get the newsletter as a LinkedIn newsletter on that platform. We've got around 250, 300 subscribers on the newsletter at the moment, I think, which is awesome.
It's, pretty good. That's on LinkedIn, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's really good. Yeah, the email, not so much. LinkedIn's doing really well, though. So really, really happy with those numbers. And just to shout, like, we were the 13th most popular tech news podcast on Apple Podcasts at one point last week. So we are getting listens. Number 13 in tech news is fairly niche, but we're really happy with that. So very, very much thanking everyone for listening. Let us know, give us feedback, give us comments if you want us to feature different stuff. If we're missing out bits that awareness professionals or people working in the security awareness field need to know, tell us. This is a podcast by us but for you. So let us know, because we're enjoying doing it and we want it to be valuable to all of you. So let us know what you need. Give us some comments on videos on YouTube, on the podcast platforms. And if you can, like and subscribe. And if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that'd be really, really appreciated.
Yeah, or Spotify.
Or Spotify. It really helps.
Wherever you're listening.
Yeah, apparently the reviews, it's all about the reviews. So a murder mystery podcast, true crime podcast I used to listen to, used to say, like, it's the stars are great, but the reviews are what Apple really likes. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And
right. That's it for another day then.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We will speak again, and watch out for the next episode of the awareness angle dropping in a week's time.
Yeah, no, great. Yeah, definitely sign up to the newsletter.
Please.
Very valuable bit of content in there.
If you work as an awareness professional, or you've got to communicate awareness messaging, each one of those newsletters will give you 4, 5, 6 pieces of information and tell you how to use it. And then with that newsletter, the information it tells you how to use, you can chuck that straight out into a blog post, into a Slack post, into your own newsletter, and there's ready-made content there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing with it. So you can do that yourself. It says the awareness angle on this is boom. So yeah, brilliant. Right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. We will see you all next week.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. See you in the next one.